It's been really interesting how presumptuous Democrat supporters are compared to Trump supporters. I find there's a lot of, not this time so much, but certainly 2016, a lot of sort of embarrassment or this fear of social ostracization.
Yes.
Whereas the Democrats don't feel that at all. That's why when they were talking about the silent Kamala voter, it didn't make any sense. I got two examples. I remember when Trump beat Hillary, I was in a Trader Joe's, and this old fella bumped into me. I went, "Oh, g'day, no worries, excuse me." He went, "Where are you from?" I went, "Oh, well, I live here. I'm from Australia." And he apologized to me on behalf of the country that they elected Trump. I was like, don't worry about it. It's fine. I'm all right. But it was weird that he would be that presumptuous. Secondly, we have someone who lives close to us in Florida who came over to our house and just said, "Well, yeah, your mother and I, we're all," she talked about my wife, right, to my kid. "Your mother and I, we're voting for Kamala." Like, how presumptuous. And my wife's like, actually, no. And then there was this charitable but slightly awkward conversation she had to get into. The reason for that, though, seems to be clearly the mainstream media that shames you, that told us back in 2016 that the only reason we wanted to vote for Trump is because we were racists and sexists. And the same thing again. And maybe Nazi sympathizers. It's so pathetic. I'm so sick of it. I think the country sees right through it.
Yeah. I think this brings to mind, I don't know if I sent this to you, but I'm sure that a lot of people have seen it. There's this, Wade Stott's made a video on it. I know you.
What a guy. He's fantastic.
You and I both really like Wade's videos. Wade Stott's made a video on it called Heat Maps and Hurricanes. And he was talking about Hurricane Helene, and he was mentioning this chart that is pretty popular on like right-wing Twitter. It's two heat maps side by side. And what it is it's two sets of concentric circles.
Okay.
And the circles represent, in the middle, it's the question being asked is, who do you care about most? Like, what's your biggest concerns? Basically, like, what do you value the most? And the middle circle represents your immediate family, and then your extended family, and then your extended family and your friends, and they go out, and the outer circle is something insane, like all objects everywhere in the universe. You know what I mean? Like literally. Yeah. Okay. And the reason they did this is they were trying to get data on the values, like what conservatives and liberals value. Okay. So, and they had everybody plot them. So they had asked them a set of questions, right? To not like just which do you care about, because that would be insane, right? To just be like, they're doing a study. So they ask each side, they ask liberals and conservatives each the same set of questions, and then they plot their answers somewhere along from the middle to the outer edge. And the conservatives came back nearly almost in the center, a little bit outside, which makes sense because conservatives, while we do care very much about our families, immediate families especially, but we also tend to be in communities where we value our extended families and friends also very highly, you know? And the liberals came back closer to the outer edge with all objects in the universe than to the center. And so the thing you're describing about that guy who you bumped into and then said he apologized for Trump. Last night, and I was up till 4 watching. Once it got called for Trump, I just started watching like MSNBC. I started rotating between MSNBC and CNN, and
for comic relief.
Just because it was, you know, I remember
Schadenfreude.
It was so fun in 2016. I remember it. I kid you not. They were talking about. They weren't talking about. This morning they're talking about. We don't understand the nation. You know, and here's what's going to happen to the economy, and why is the economy doing the thing it's doing right now? Because the Dow is up like something insane, like 10%.
What, since last night?
Yeah. Bitcoin's up, which is just like all these financial markers that suggest that like the people who, you know, have a lot of money in the economy, which decides how the economy is going to function, just fundamentally, that's how it works, think that the economy is about to do better. That's what they're talking about this morning. But last night, I kid you not, one of the first things when I turned on MSNBC was, I think it was Joy Reid and Rachel Maddow talking about how Ukrainian soldiers are going to feel that the United States elected Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And look, I feel for the soldiers in Ukraine. I feel for Ukraine. I feel for the soldiers in Russia because I think a lot of them are being thrown in. I think they're both being thrown into a conflict that they don't have say in. I feel for both of them. But I'm sorry. If you're more concerned with how Ukrainian soldiers are going to react to the election of Donald Trump, than even to the people who voted for Kamala that you supposedly think are the people who need to be saved in this country, actually, there's something fundamentally wrong with you. Right? Like, right?
Yeah.
Like, even if you, like, here, you see what I'm saying? Like, even if you, like, I would expect, oh, what about, you know, the racism? What about like people of color?
Right.
And,
yeah.
like like there's going to be
to
more
the center again.
back to the center. Like,
but it's not. It's
not even like the people of the United States who they say they care about.
Yeah.
Their first thought was people in a different country who Trump has said over and over and over and over every time he's been asked about it, I just want the war to end so no more people die. And their first thought is the emotions of these guys. Like that's a fundamentally different way of viewing the world that I just can't even comprehend.
Yeah. Yeah, you could get to that point after you've gone through how will this affect us and our loved ones and those who are suffering in our country. But to begin there and make your way back in, if that's what they were doing. Yeah, seems weird. Hey, thank you so much for watching. Before you go, do us a favor, leave a comment, let us know what you thought of the video, like, and subscribe.